ASU's Biodesign Institute is launching a months-long series called Sip of Science, where the public can meet up with researchers at local restaurants for casual conversations about science over a nice meal. For more, we welcome Josh LaBaer, the Executive Director of the Biodesign Institute. Welcome to Arizona Horizon. Good to have you here.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Sip of Science. Where did this all get started?
Well, you know, when I think back to my career in science, some of the best ideas and some of the most interesting conversations have been over meals or when, you know, having a nice drink together. And so we thought, wouldn't it be great if we could sort of bring together food and drink with a conversation about interesting scientific topics, things that are going on right here in our institute that people are doing in terms of research or discovery.
And would this be a group of people around a table? Is someone going to stand in front of a group with a microphone? How does this work?
I think people are going to stand in front of a group and talk about interesting topics of science that we're working on. So it won't be exactly around a table, but it'll be with food and drink there.
With food and drink at the ready, huh?
That's right.
Let's talk about some of the topics here. At the George and Dragon, nice restaurant there on Central, the Penguin Whisperer will be there. Who is the Penguin Whisperer?
So Arvind Barsani is one of the faculty members in our institute. And what he's discovered is that we can learn a lot from looking at penguins and the viruses that they get. You know, it turns out that some of the penguins on our planet are suffering from a viral outbreak, and we want to understand what's causing it.
So the penguins are the canaries in the coal mine.
In a sense, that's right, yeah.
Also, microplastic in your seafood. Now, I've heard about this study, this research, but this is pretty important stuff because there is a lot of plastic in the sea.
Yeah, there's a lot of plastic, small bits of plastic that are in the sea, and a lot of sea creatures are eating it inadvertently, and it's occupying a good part of what's going on in their systems. It's preventing them from absorbing nutrients and leading to changes in the ocean. And so we have researchers at the Institute who are looking at that as well.
That's not going to be at a seafood restaurant, is it?
That's a good question.
Yeah, we better watch out for that. Okay, yeah. The mysteries of the brain. Holy smokes, you could go on forever with something like that.
Yes. So we have a couple of researchers who are especially concerned about neurodegenerative diseases, especially things like Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease, and trying to understand both what caused that disease and how can we detect it earlier. And these researchers, Paul Coleman and Diego Mastrioni, have identified some biomarkers that they can detect in the blood that will help identify this disease.
We're going to talk about Alzheimer's tomorrow a little bit, but it seems as though it's almost in fits and starts when it comes to groundbreaking information on Alzheimer's. Or is it really mostly fits?
It's a hard disease to understand and manage. But we're making progress. I mean, we do understand a lot more about this than we did back when I first went to medical school. So
another meal and conversation using biology principles for cybersecurity?
So Stephanie Forrest is a brilliant cybersecurity expert, right? So we all are terrified by the misuse of computers and people who have desires to take our identities or to hack our computers. And her understanding is that we're never going to get there by just reading through lines of code and looking for holes. So rather, she looks at software as if it were an organism, and she asks, how does biology deal with attacks? Because we have years of evolution that biology has developed to defend itself. And so she looks at software the same way, and she's looking at ways of looking at immune systems in software and how to evolve software to make it more protective. And so that's what she'll be talking about.
And another one is microbes. Are microbes controlling your mind?
That's right. Well, there is a link between our gut and our brain, and Athena Actipus is going to be talking about that. How does our gut talk to our brain and tell us what to do?
Wow. And finally, you, sir. You will be having a conversation regarding cancer and optimism.
Right. Well, you know, so my training is I'm a medical oncologist. That's my background, and so my lab has been doing research in cancer for many years, and we've learned a lot in the last several decades about what causes cancer and how to defend ourselves against this disease. And so I'd like to talk about reasons why there actually is cause for optimism there.
Can you do this over dinner and maybe a drink or two? I mean, is it crying out for a PowerPoint? I mean, how do you pull this off?
Well, we might actually have some slides, although the goal will be not to get highly technical, but rather to sort of embrace individuals who are obviously intelligent because they want to hear about these things, but may not know the details, and they want to come to a place where we can have an open conversation. And so typically I think we're all going to give a little talk, and then open up for questions and have a conversation.
And Six Valley restaurants aren't involved. Was it difficult to get them involved?
I don't think so. I
Yeah.
think people were really interested in this idea.
Yeah, and $15 I think per event. That includes light appetizers, maybe some happy hour prices there as well.
I think that's the idea. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, well, it sounds fascinating.
It should be fun.
And this is the first time now this has happened?
We're just introducing it this year, and
All
we're going
right.
to see how it goes.
We'll see how it works as it goes from there.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.